All right, welcome back to the Milk and Podcast, and we have a special treat for you all tonight. I don't know where that accent just came from, but I have a special treat for you all tonight. We have our first guest on our show, and we're going to introduce her. She has her own Instagram, Motherhood Unfiltered. Give me one moment, because I definitely just put something down. 1 second. Okay, so her name is Nicola P. She is a passionate motherhood content creator. She started Motherhood Unfiltered to empower mothers to be honest about all aspects of motherhood. She has been a safe space for plenty of moms throughout her journey, so far with her goals to gather plenty of more. Through her content, she shares insights, tips, and advocacy that is helping to create a stronger, more connected community for moms from all walks of life in many parts of the world. You can follow her on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to her YouTube at Motherhood Unfiltered. And I also wanted to quote out, what was the one thing I told her I was going to make sure I put in there? She is Papa's lit ass mom. Okay, so we're going to bring Nicola to the stage. Hi, Nicola.
Hi, Nicola.
I love that you put that in there.
Yes, I told you I was going to put that in there.
Thank you.
She was like, we can't say that. Yes, we can. We can do what we want. Okay, and then, oh, yep, and Dom is here too. So we have one more. Now, these are my Instagram friends. So the next lady that we are going to bring out is Rom Gonzalez. She is the voice behind NK Mama and an ambassador for Parent Porch, where she inspires millions of parents monthly with relatable, supportive, and empowering content. A mom of 2 toddlers, including one with autism, she shares practical tips, insights, and humor to help parents navigate challenges while creating their own parenting rulebook. As a healer and corporate leader, Dawn brings empathy, organization, and purpose to her work, helping parents find balance and joy in their journey. You can follow her on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Uncaped Mama. All right. Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Dom.
All right, ladies. So we're going to start off with our check-in. So from a scale to 1 to 10, how are you feeling today? It could be mentally, physically, whatever. Just how are you feeling? And we can start with Nicola. No work our way around. We can't hear you, Nicola.
She's on mute.
10 is a good thing, right?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So 10 is a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so I'm maybe a good.
Yours is going out, Nicola.
Yeah,
It's going in and out.
Okay.
we have bad sound technical difficulties right now.
Oh.
Lola, are you listening live?
On mute on the computer.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Yeah, in my earpiece, and it's echoing.
Let me see. Can you hear it? Is it still doing it?
Hello, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So 6.
You say 6?
Yes.
Oh,
Is there anything you need?
A break, a peace of mind, something.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Dom, on scale from 10.
I think I'm a 7. Yeah, I'm a 7.
Okay. Is there anything you need?
$1 million. A sugar daddy that's not gonna ask me for sugar.
Wow.
A break. Like
Okay.
just send me the coins. We don't need to do all the rest of the stuff. No, I'm just in like I've been in a like very reflective space over the last probably 4 or 5 days. And so, like with that comes some grieving of like, okay, I can't keep like allowing that or living that way. But also I think I'm stuck in the space today of like, okay, so now what? But generally I'm all right.
Okay.
But I will absolutely take the money and a break.
Okay.
Okay. Devin?
Everything that Dom said, I'll take. Well, I don't need no shit day, but $1 million to help me a break. With all our mothers, we need breaks.
Yeah.
So I would say I'm a 7.
Okay. Do you need anything? Oh, you said everything Dom said you need.
Yeah. No, I don't need anything. Prayers.
Prayers.
Got it. All right, Lola.
I'm a good 8 today. I had a little nap. Okay. All right.
That's good.
Yeah, that nap got me, that amount of energy. Got my little drinky drink so I can get through the rest of the night. But that's all I got for you today.
Okay.
Where you
I
at?
would say I'm like a 7 or an 8. I'm pretty good. I'm just tired from the holiday. And then having to get back into like the schedule. We were up to like 2 a.m. every night since Wednesday and trying to get back into the schedule. But I will take 2 of what Dom said. $2 million, 2 sugar daddies without giving the sugar.
Okay.
Just get the money. Yeah. So I'll take 2 of that.
I don't got room for that.
But just send the money. You ain't gotta just FaceTime once in a while. Hi. Apple Pay, Zelle. Don't Cash App. Just Apple Pay, Zelle. Or you can just give me the cash.
Or cash or direct deposit every day. I mean, come on.
Wires, ACH transactions.
Hello.
Yeah.
There's
Stocks.
forms.
That's
You can
it.
have me a check.
Annuity.
Just make sure it's clear.
Mhm.
Winning lottery tickets, like however it comes, baby, just send it.
Send it.
Okay.
No questions asked.
Yeah.
All right, so tonight's topic, we're gonna do a part 2 of the Millennial Mom. Sorry, my cord. I'm gonna tangle up my cords. About the Millennial Mom. So, what would you say that like? What would you say your definition of a Millennial Mom is, and what would you say is the biggest challenge for the Millennial Mom?
Who's going first?
Whoever got the answer first.
Let's start with the guest. Let's start with Dom.
I knew y'all was gonna start with me. I was getting ready. I think Millennial Mom to me, and speaking from my experience, and then what I've noticed about other moms I'm connecting with, either online or in person, like the Millennial Mom is the mom who is like healing while also raising their kids. And that it doesn't matter like what type of household structure you came from, 2-parent household, single parent, like military background. It seems like no matter what, there is this piece of like, I've got to heal or re-raise myself while I'm actively raising my children in a world that wasn't like this when we were growing up. There are factors of it, right? I still got to protect my kids. I'm thinking about nutrition, that sort of thing. But like autism is not being discussed when I was a child like it is now. Or, triggers. Like, hell, I just figured out what the hell that was in therapy like 5 years ago, right? And so now I'm like watching for when my kids are triggered or my kids are triggering me. And so I got to take a step back in that. And so I think that's what it seems like it is. And also like trying not to repeat any habits that you didn't like. There's a lot of that. I literally just started a series today, quite literally before I got on here, like an hour ago, called like raising me while I'm raising them, because I'm constantly figuring out like, damn, there's so much to like unlearn here, so much to unlearn, so much to unpack every single day. Wow, like they still have to be taken care of, and I just feel like other millennial moms that I know are in some way, shape, or form like can relate to that or some piece of it.
I like that first part where you said healing while raising your kids, because it is so much that I'm not gonna say so much that you want to unlearn, but there's a lot of things that as time goes on, it just doesn't work anymore. From when our parents raised us to now, we're in a totally different world.
Okay.
And we're learning as we're going. And like you said, we're like little kids again, trying to raise these other little kids.
I feel that. It's just surprising to me. Like somebody has said online, like we're the adults now. Like sometimes I be like, I am responsible for these 3 little people. I got an email about parent teacher conference. Like still me, I'm responsible for these people. So it's sometimes
it's crazy.
Like I'm really their mama. And I feel like millennial mom is. I feel like each generation tries it, but with millennials, I feel like we just trying to either get what we didn't get, and then that's where they say like these kids is different nowadays. Like try to spoil our kids too much, and then be mad when they spoil, and just try to do all the things that we know our parents tried to do but couldn't do. I know I tell my mom all the time like we didn't do this and we didn't do that, so I try to do those things differently than my mom did. I had a good childhood, but I feel like I'm trying to overcompensate for the things that I didn't get.
Ooh, how do I love or like what you just said? It's the overcompensating for either what I don't remember, like maybe it happened and I don't remember it, or like what I know I didn't get. I'm like, and some of that is like to my detriment. Like it's stressing me out. Like, because every day it's like, okay, how do I one up myself? Like that's crazy. Like, why would I want to do that?
Look, like that one meme say, my paychecks say I make good money, and my lifestyle say I need to move bricks.
Okay.
Because they gonna get it. Like, if I got $60 to my name, that's what Christmas is gonna happen. But definitely, I'm dead ass serious. Hell or high waters, they gonna have what they need. I would say a millennial mom for me is just learning as you go. Another meme said millennials have been through so many different scandals in their lives, and that's why we need therapy. Like we have literally been through some traumatic stuff. 9/11, George Bush, all of like Kanye West and his outburst, like so much stuff. And now we're the adults.
The pandemic.
Yes, the pandemic. Pregnant during the pandemic. Never. Like, it's a lot. And it's a lot to maneuver while trying, like you said, to keep 2 little people, well, not, it was 2 for me, trying to keep 2 little people alive, safe, not kidnapped, sex trafficking. My kids will be 10 because ain't nobody else to take them and sell them on eBay or whatever, wherever they're doing with them. So that part, like, it's just a lot that happens. One of the biggest challenges I think millennial mothers face would be judgment. And I think it's because people are so used to how things work that they don't give us the space to have grace for ourselves, and they don't give us grace. So like you said, you're constantly trying to overcompensate for something when you don't necessarily have to. But if you don't feel like combing your child's hair and you send them to school, automatically somebody's going to say, well, why your mama didn't do your hair? Maybe I was tired. Max was sitting on the edge of my bed.
Yeah, the echo is bad on this side. I think it might be from whoever's on phones because you pick up more sound on your phone.
So maybe they.
Yep, there we go.
Yep, it was Devin's.
Yeah. Sorry, boo.
Well, so I'll mute when I'm not talking.
Okay.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maxwell. But I think that's like the biggest. That's one of the biggest challenges. There's plenty, but that's the biggest one. Okay, with Nikwa and Lola, whoever wants to go next.
I could tap in next. I feel like the millennial mom things we don't discuss a lot is like the emotional well-being of the parent and the child. Like people like I feel like our parents weren't, really I don't want to say invested in our emotions, but it was really like you grew up in a household of do as I say, not as I do. And if a parent is wrong, like there's no apologies, like there's no check-in on that emotional well-being of the child. But there's also too no check-in on that emotional well-being as a mother, like, the stress that you go through. Like I know, like I said, like venting to my mom or telling them like, oh, I feel overwhelmed at times. Okay, I went through that. And I'm just like, okay, if you were built for it tough, buddy, like that's you. But if I'm telling you that, I am not okay, like that's something that, that as a millennial mom, like that's just new. That's a discovery. Yeah. Like that, therapy and not being okay and getting the help you need. Like that's a version of a millennial mom. As well as I feel like this newfoundness of being a mother is realizing once we got to this age, not only are we the adults, like I realized our parents were at this level that we were on. Like the things that I'm going through now, and it might seem so petty and trivial, but I realize now, like my mama was arguing with my dad about this and that, like I'm really going through the stuff these people went through. And in my mind, I just feel like nobody really grew up because it's all childish. You just got older. And so it's just trying to process all these things into one, person, one version. And, it's different. I don't know. It's different. It seems like a different world to me that we're navigating now as millennial mothers.
That's just more, it seems to me like harder. Everything costs more.
Okay.
Why did you grow up? Everything got to be so expensive.
Baby. Rent expensive, mortgage expensive, groceries. Okay. They don't even got that many McDonald's play plates. Ain't even no more free activities, baby. Like everything went up.
Ridiculous.
Okay.
Like if you want dino nuggets and french fries Monday through Friday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's what you're gonna get.
Okay.
I'm not sitting there. I did that for like the whole time. Cooking whatever people wanted, 2-3 meals, not no more. You want dino nuggets? Great.
Got it.
Because eggs is $10. So you're gonna get those dino nuggets if somebody got something to say about it.
The Tyson one said they mix vegetables in there, so it's healthy.
No.
It was something like we all, and as millennials, I feel like a lot of our conversation is a meme that we saw or something that we saw online. So that's just what it is going to be. But it was like, what's one generational curse that you're going to break? I feel like I'm not going to make my kids eat something that I know they don't like. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And from different people, I hear like, oh, you fixing 2 meals? Like, why am I wasting food? I know she's not about to eat chicken and mushrooms. So why am I going to make her eat this stuff?
Yeah.
If you want dino nuggets or y'all want to eat spaghetti 8 days a week, eat
it.
Yeah.
That's literally what I was doing with my son. He went from he would eat my whole plate to nothing. Like he suddenly just wanted formula. And I was like, no, bro, like we are literally weaning you off of formula like this month. Like what is happening? And you're allergic to the regular formula. So like I was excited, like, oh, I'm gonna have some more money in my pocket. And like my family was very much like, well, does he eat this? You need to give him that, give him this, give him that. And I'm like, he's not like, he's not going to eat it, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Come to find out he had autism and like, one of the sensory things is food. So all he eats is French fries. and the smoothies I make him. And people are literally like, you need to be introducing more healthier foods. Y'all, he throws it on the floor. But I'm not wasting food and money because y'all not feeding them.
Okay.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was able to I figured out what textures of food he likes. So we get some veggie straws, okay? We get freeze-dried fruit in there. He loves it. The rest of his nutrition comes from smoothies. Y'all don't see that. You don't get to see what's in his sippy cup. But the rest of that, I'm not going to keep arguing with you about what I'm feeding my child, because if his sister, who we stopped eating McDonald's, but she was very much a McDonald's child, if that's what she wanted every day, baby, I was getting McDonald's points, and here's your Happy Meal. Because y'all not feeding them. You're not feeding them.
Oh my God.
You're not feeding them. They're healthy. Like, I got supplements and stuff. We go to a natural, like, pediatrician. Like, I'm literally doing my absolute best here. Today, you finna leave me the hell alone about the children I'm taking care of every day with your judgment. Because I know what we ate.
Yeah.
The same thing. We had banquet, like, frozen meals that was 95 cents a lot. Or noodles. That, you telling me that's better than this French fries I done made for this baby? Get out of my face. Like that. I'm like, it's so much judgment. So much judgment. It's irritating. Because I'm like, you don't know what's happening in my household. You don't know what's happening with me. You don't know what's happening with this kid. You see 3 seconds of something and you created a whole story that is like not our reality.
And just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time. I go, look, just because you don't see my kids get a whooping doesn't mean that they're not getting one. It just means that you didn't see it. And that's okay. Like, it's okay. That doesn't, just because you don't see me discipline them, just because you don't see me do this, doesn't mean that it's not happening. So, bye. Like, that's it. Beginning, middle, and the end. My kids, my rules.
And that brings me to a good point of, like, just because you don't see it. I feel like this new millennial mom, what I love for us is that we create that boundary for our kids, about our kids. It doesn't matter who. Like, oh, if your child come in the house and they say hi to Dawson, they don't want to hug them. They don't want to hug you today. You don't need, I'm not forcing it on them. Like, my child has a boundary right there and we're going to respect it. Okay. Like, I love that for us as parents. And it's as well as same thing with, like the disciplining. I don't got to whip my child in front of you for you to know that I'm whooping them. Like, I don't need to embarrass my child publicly. But when we get home, they got to deal with me. So it'll be on and popping then. But yeah, like, I love that for us. I love our version of motherhood and how we're, like, some aspects changing for the better.
Yeah, and that's why I don't beat them. My children, I can have a conversation with them. I may yell, but I don't beat them. I don't. I threaten them a lot with a belt. Like, I'm going to pop you. And it never happens, most likely. But I will pop them with my hands sometimes. I just don't involve weapons. Because I don't like it. So I can talk to my kids and fuss at them. Okay, so Nikwa, what do you think about the definition of motherhood, the millennial mom, and the biggest, what was it? The biggest challenge?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So what I think the millennial mom is honestly the change. It's simple. I think that we are on some, hey, we put it in a face. Like, this is what we face every day. This is motherhood, and y'all gonna get with it or not. Like, I feel like that's what we are. We're literally the change. We are empowering even our elders to even tap into how they felt, raising us, and just being a mom in general, or a woman in general, where they couldn't be so honest about it, where it was taboo. Like, they were judged and they couldn't, everybody just saw them as a mom. Nobody saw them as women, people. And I feel like we're changing that. I feel like we're showing people, like, I'm a mama, but at the end of the day, I can be a lit ass one. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a woman. I'm still me, and I'm still gonna do life on my terms, just now with kids. So definitely, like, I feel like we're the change. The hardest thing that we face, everything that y'all said was spot on. Like, literally spot on. Things that I'm going through currently with, trying to be that change and trying to get people on board with, like, me just keeping it real about motherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard. But I really think the hardest thing with all of that combined is community. That's the hardest thing for us. That's the hardest thing for us to find is community. Because as much as we see TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and we see people like us who are trying to make the change, right? And be that change. We still have a ton of women who aren't on that, a ton of women who are, still carrying what their parent did, what their mom did, the shame that she held, they're carrying that. The quietness she had, I don't know what to call it right now, but just not speaking up and being honest that she had, is still a whole bunch of women that's like that. So what you'll find is that we're being real about it, right? But then they're judging us, or they don't want to be, mom friends with us, or they don't want to follow us, or they don't want to, get with what we got going on because they feel like we are too free in a sense, or we're being too honest. So community is very hard. I think that's the hardest thing for us.
And I really agree with that part of it, because before finding Nikwa's Motherhood Unfiltered page, I definitely thought like I was alone, because you got your mom telling you, that's what I went through. Like it's all right. Like you'll figure it out. Or your grandma telling you, oh, you'll figure it out. You'll do this, based on things that has just happened all throughout like every generation. And I don't know if Nico remembers this, but there was a few times where she was like, I'm going to just stop my page. She'll post something like, I'm just not going to post here anymore. And I would message her and I'll be like, F them. Okay? Because you helped me to know that I'm not the only one that feels like these kids are stressing me out. I love them, but I just need them to go over there for like 2 seconds and give me some space. And she, like, that whole aspect that changed. And even like the group chat that we have, we talk about so much stuff in there, and I'll be like, ooh, that'll be a good topic, ooh, that. And it just lets you know like you're not alone, because so many people are scared to advocate for themselves, are scared to tell people how they feel, just speak up in general. Like you said, we're women, we're mothers, but guess what? I don't have to be just sitting at home folding laundry all day. My kids can go somewhere else for the night, and I can hang out, period, because I'm still a woman. So that right there, Nico's page gave me a voice, and it gave, he sure did. The algorithm definitely did this big one, because like I said, they're like our Instagram besties. We talk about these kids that get on our nerves.
Am I echoing?
Slightly, but you're good.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like now I'm my mom's only child, but I have 3 kids. I feel like everybody said, like we're the change and we're speaking up, because I feel like even then they didn't voice it, but I knew they probably needed a break then too. Probably dealing from the traumas that they had from growing up, and they just never voiced it like we do. But I'm sure Cynthia probably cried in the shower sometimes, or didn't know what to do, and they just really didn't say it as much as we do.
I'm gonna tell you right now, my mama did take breaks with her cousins. Okay, mine. It was at happy hour. We was all at my great grandma's house, and then my grandma would come get us if she stayed out a little longer. But my grandma. My mom told me my grandma would be like, pick a day. Like, okay, pick a day. But like when I became a mom, my mom was trying to make it seem like she was 24/7 mom. And I'm like, sis, listen, I vividly remember happy hours on Fridays with them other badass children that I love, my cousins and my brother. You was kicking it. I can't go to happy hour. Like, what you mean I gotta be at home all day? I can't take a nap? Like, what you mean we didn't have babysitters? We did. They were family, and you could trust them. I don't live where family is, right? I live in Texas. They're all in Nebraska. I may not remember how often you got breaks, but you got breaks. You went on some trips, okay? She went to the Olympics in Atlanta. Like, please, please, in '96. Like, girl, please. You got breaks. So it's I feel like it's a mix of that, of like maybe not even knowing what to tell us. Like, yes, you may have felt everything that I feel and more. Um, Especially knowing like she made less money and made stuff work, right?
Mhm.
And the village, I definitely remember looking different than it looks now. But I'm like, you expecting me to be a martyr is crazy because you weren't.
Yeah.
Like, so you can't get mad at me for talking about the expectation that we should all be martyrs. Like, you hear how people talk about moms and how they shouldn't go out. You shouldn't dress that way. You're a mom. You shouldn't talk about this. I'm a whole human being. Like, I was created for a purpose in addition to like being a mom. So I can talk about the realities of these things, but also like I have a whole life I'm supposed to be living outside of them. And my children are actually better for that. Like, they really are. Like, the happier I am, the better they are. The more fulfilled I am, the more they get to see like, wow, mom like does some really cool stuff, you know? So it's weird because it's like we're talking about all of those things, but I'm confident that our parents got more
Oh,
breaks
they
than they would like us to realize.
Facts.
they got breaks.
Yeah.
I definitely remember the breaks, okay? Because we used to spend whole summers at my great grandma's house or whatever. But it's this idea of, I feel like somehow the older generation above us have this way of trying to mom shame and mom guilt us, as if like their version of motherhood was the best and the only version. Like we have social media that we're fighting against. Y'all don't even got to didn't have to deal with that. Like, let's start there, because there's other people already influencing our kids outside of us that we have to worry about. Like, and not even trying to pin us against each other, but I just feel like that generation just wants to minimize our version of motherhood so bad and make us feel like we're supposed to just be consumed about our kids 24/7 and not have this life. But then if you're so consumed, kids grow up. If you forget about you, there will be no you when they leave and go on and move on. What are you gonna do? Be a shell of yourself. So
I agree with that. I agree. I definitely think that it's like a big disconnect. And more so,
Mm-mm.
like you said, minimizing. Like it really goes into what Dom said too. Like, I know for a fact my mama had breaks. Like, she
Mm.
could not understand when I was like so like attached to my baby. She like, you need to like go. And I'm just like, but you don't understand. She's like, but I have to understand, she had that break. She'll just get up and go. So she didn't understand my, sorry y'all, somebody is being a little sneaky. She didn't understand, how I felt, because she didn't go through that. She took her break. She was out of here. But also, like you said about the minimizing, even it comes to like, even like y'all was talking about the discipline or what we feed
Mm.
them. It's like, if we want to be different, oh, that's almost a fight.
Exactly.
It's almost a fight if we don't want to do it their way or how they
Mhm.
did it. Like,
I'm gonna
it's
start
tough.
asking for bill money when at this point. Oh, you need to dress them like this, feed them like that.
Turn it
The
down.
rent, the mortgage bill is this. The light payment is 180. Okay. Consumer energy is 150 today. I'm going to start asking for bill money because you must be taking care of my kids since you got so much input.
Look,
This is the next step.
I don't that's the one thing I don't like, especially when you guys said like just all the input. For example, my kids get nice clothes from other places, but mainly I go to Target. It's nice, it's affordable. They're only gonna wear it for this one season. My kids are not at the age where they can wear last year's stuff this year. I tried it. Saved all the winter stuff from last year thinking, okay, I sized it up.
Mm-mm.
Boom, we're gonna try it. Baby
But
girl put on a jacket. The dang on sleeves was like this. I said, okay, that's not gonna work for you. So like me and my mom just had this conversation. She was like, I want to get Kennedy these Uggs, and I said, okay. The Ugg thing was cute for a while, but now we're buying Uggs every year.
oh,
It's
yeah.
okay for her to get the Kookaburra by Ugg. Same thing. I could get two for the price of one pair of Uggs. So guess what? That's what she's gonna have. And I'm like, nobody else is gonna buy it either because it does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not practical, and this economy, this lifestyle, or whatever the case may be, she doesn't know. She is cool with it. She loves them. She thinks they're cute. So no, like it's I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe it is just a generational thing, but a lot of other factors I think play a big role. Because back then, like you said, houses was, you probably could get a house for 50 cents back then. Now it's just not. That's just not what it is.
Gas was definitely 99 cents.
Baby.
It definitely was.
Yes, like Kennedy was like, "Mommy, can we move?" And I'm like, I would love to move into like a bigger space. But when you look at these little houses, like especially by their school, these houses before, when we first moved, they first started building them, they were like low 200s. You drive over there today, mid 3 to 400,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
baby,
there's no gates. There's no like gates. There's no man sitting out at the front to let you in. It's not giving the 3 to 4. Not at all.
The sizes don't even be sizing for no 3 to 400. Like, don't play in my face. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just
down here in Texas. You have to look at the kitchen, and like the kitchens are not kitchening enough. Because I know how valuable kitchens are. Like people really buy houses for kitchens, bathrooms, and closets.
Yes.
You don't have none of that, and you talking about 500,000 and it's old. You didn't do no renovations.
They say Texas is the place to move now. First it was Georgia, I then came.
Don't buy no house. Don't buy no house down here. Like I'm not kidding. That's why I don't have one. There's literally like, you will look at it and be like, my apartment kitchen was better than that. Oh, I have a pretty nice apartment kitchen. So now I'm like comparing things to that. I'm like, okay, buy a house, it needs to be a little bit bigger than that, or like the fixtures need to be different or whatever. If I'm going to pay $500K in the area where I live, which is great. It's where, I love the school and all of that, right? I live outside the city of Dallas, but I'm like, I'm not paying like you. If y'all want to have a good time one day, I want y'all to just go on Zillow or whatever and just look around Dallas at what like people got some audacity in what they have put on the market and how much it costs. I'm like, there's no way.
Baby, it wasn't no basements. I was like, it's no space. Because baby, I've looked.
It's a couple rooms.
But there was a house. My little brother went to school in Texas, and me and my mom went to just look at like different houses, and we did see one of them, and it was a long time ago, a few years ago, and I think the house was like it was under 200,000, and this house was huge. It was a ranch, and it was so big, and I'm like, wow, like, so to see all of that, and then to hear what Dama's saying that now they're giving you less for way more is ridiculous.
Was this before COVID, Tim?
Very much so before COVID.
Yeah. Yep. It's dramatically changed since then, and before like Tesla, Toyota moved, like all these big companies like moved people here, moved their like headquarters here. It changed everything, and that all happened like right around or during the like beginnings of COVID. So like you used to be able to rent like a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house for like $1,700. Like with a garage and a yard, maybe a two, like all of that in a great neighborhood. No.
Sorry, but I do feel like that honestly has to do with race too as well, because people don't talk about the fact that when Black people start moving to an area and we start coming in droves, now the price then went up because they don't want everybody to be able to afford everything and move in. Because Atlanta, that happened all up and around Georgia. So, and then Texas was a new little hot spot. I'm scared for North Carolina next because they on the list next. So whenever, Black people be going somewhere, then prices be like boom, boom, bow, and it's over.
You just said that, and I definitely been looking at like North Carolina or South Carolina because I asked my kids, I said, if you guys could move anywhere in the world, where would it go? They said Ohio because they want to go to Cedar Point.
Okay.
Whatever, we can always take you there. And then she did say South Carolina. So I was definitely looking at that, but I have to get there before the getting.
Okay, you gotta get there.
You better hurry up because first. Everybody trying to get to North Carolina for sure.
I'm telling you.
Okay, so I would rather live somewhere. My biggest goal is I want to move somewhere where I know no one. No family, no nothing.
I don't like that.
I
agree.
got stuff going on, but I would not recommend that at
Yeah.
all.
But I like it.
I feel like you don't realize how hard it gets till you don't got what you used to have on top of that. But not even just that, like you don't realize how hard it is on your kids when they don't know people. Like
Yeah.
that's the only reason why I wouldn't move somewhere completely where I don't know, because my kids still need that community their selves. Like they got their friends, you know, their family, their cousins and stuff like that. I don't want to be too far from like their normalcy and their comfortability as well. But also, I don't want to be too far from help, because even though my kids are older, well, most of them are, you know, I still need help in some way, shape, or form with my children. And if I'm out there somewhere, I don't, I can't struggle. The mental and emotional toll is already there. And then add that type of stress of being so far away and not having the help when you need it. Like, yeah, no, Devin, because you live in Atlanta, not with family. Like, how do you feel about that? Or is she gone?
I think she's doing something. But
Okay.
no, when you put it like that with the kid perspective, okay.
Yeah.
But see, even with the Carolinas, my dad's family's there.
Okay.
I'm not close with them, but that's the opportunity to build that closeness or whatnot. I mean, I haven't seen them since I was younger.
Not you. It's not an opportunity for you to build closeness, because even if you built the opportunity and closeness, knowing you, Tan, your kids didn't grow up with them, so it wouldn't be no pick up, drop off, and help
Oh,
in the way
absolutely
that
not.
you would. So that's
But
what I'm
okay,
saying. So
but
that's
listen to
still
why.
taking
But listen
away
to
from
my
what you
perspective
do.
of why. So the reason why I say I will move somewhere where I've never been before is because it's like a new adventure and somewhere else where other people can come and visit me. Like I wouldn't move to Atlanta ever because my whole family's there. I went there all the time as a kid. It's just like Michigan to me. The Carolinas is kind of the same because we were either in Atlanta visiting a family or North Carolina or South Carolina growing up as a kid. But it's still beautiful. But I don't know. That's my main goal, like to move out of Michigan because it's nice, but yeah.
Well, I'm like Dom. I mean, y'all know, but Dom and Nico probably don't know. But I live in Atlanta. All of my family live in Michigan. My husband's family live in Indiana, and we have family down here. But if y'all know Georgia, everything is just so far. It's hard to. For one, I got 3 kids, so it's like that's a lot to have somebody to watch them if it's not my mom or his mom. And nowadays, the kids that was watching when we was watching kids at 16, they not doing it no more.
No.
So I rarely get a date night. I rarely get like a chance to like drop them off because I really don't have nobody here to help me. I do got a couple friends, but they got kids too. So we got 5, 6 kids running around. That's a lot.
Okay,
So I
but
was
would you
thinking
really
about
want these new age teenagers watching your kids?
I was just about to say something about that. I wouldn't.
Me neither, because
No.
they over here making the kids fight. Now it's the neighborhood.
They're too exposed to too much. And I'm not trying to say like kids are just corrupted, but they're exposed to too much. I wouldn't even trust it.
Yeah, like it's no, thank you.
I mean, I guess
It's a
it
no.
depends on if you know the kids, because, like I said,
yeah.
my
But
daughter
just
would
a
be the
lot of
older
times
sibling. Yeah.
I gotta stay
But
home.
see, that's different, Lola, because that's their sister. I'm saying like
Right.
your neighborhood, like
Oh yeah,
your
like the little
neighbors.
cousin.
No, like your neighbor across the street. She babysits for some extra money during the summer. No, ma'am, you just gonna be broke
Yeah.
because
Not over
that
here.
first time.
Not here with it.
Yeah, it's too much. Like you say, they're exposed to way too much. It's just different times that we're living in. People are not worried about the bigger picture of things. People see like pick one little part of something and then run with it instead of focusing on the bigger picture. It's it's honestly like a waste of time. But I know in the previous episode, the men kept chiming in with the part 1 of the Millennial Mother. They kept chiming in talking about the biblical man and what is now the top tier men. So Maxwell, if you're still here watching, this is your cue. Huh?
He sleep. He had to go to work. He got to go to work at midnight. Yeah.
He blessed with his presence and then left.
Yeah, that's
So,
it.
they kept talking about men and all this other stuff. And that brings me to like the previous clips that we have seen, the top tier man, because men want to say that they're one way and they, oh, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, but they don't bring nothing to the table outside of things that you can kind of already do for
You
yourself.
gotta say what the guy said. Like if he
Oh,
got, or if he's 6'3", or he got his own place, or he this or he that, he's considered a top tier man. Is
oh, that,
that
oh
good?
yeah,
Yeah.
when she humbled him really quickly. I don't
I
know.
just think you taking care of yourself doesn't make you top anything. Like it's your responsibility to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if I identified myself as, you know, 5'5" with brown eyes, long hair, like people would want to fight me. Right? Or if I said I got my own house and my own car, oh, so you think you're independent, you don't need no man. Well, I don't have one. So like I gotta take care of myself. I can't sit around and wait on you because then I'd be a bum. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's not enough. And if that is whatever you think makes you top tier, that's great. That doesn't mean that you're good for me. So if you spend your time on the internet trying to convince women who you're not good for, like to think that you're top tier, you're wasting your energy. I don't even give energy to some kind of people because I'm like, anybody who is top tier, anybody who aligns with me, it'll be obvious. We will be aligned. They won't have to say it. They won't have to be like on a platform talking about it. You're just going to be that. And if we align, we align. If we got chemistry, we got chemistry. If we decide this is like a one night thing, like, okay, that's what it is. Like, right. If that's what it is with us being adults, but the bar is really low. Like the bar is like in hell. Like you take care of yourself as a full on adult. Like when my brother says stuff like that, I'll be like, sir, you are 42. I hope so. I hope that's what you're doing. But if that's all you have to offer, why you mad that people are like,
is your brother in a relationship? I just want to know because when I hear the top tier stuff, I need to know what tiers of your relationship are you in? Like, are you in one? Did you find somebody? Because if you're that top tier supremacy, you are locking somebody down and reproducing because you need some top tier heirs out here.
But I'm so confused.
I can't tell you what my brother doing. I should tell him to get in the comments, but I'm not going to do that because then people are going to look at him and be like, Dom, hook me up with your brother. And that's been my whole life. I'm going to tell you no. He going to break your heart. And then you're going to break your own heart because I already told you no.
So
he's not like a podcast bro or anything like that. But like I know when he gets around dudes and I hear, people talking, that's one of the first things that they talk about. It's like, how much money they make or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I hope so. Like, I hope you can provide like you can maintain your lifestyle. I hope so. What does that have to do with you being a good partner? Because tomorrow that whole thing could be gone.
When did top tier have to do with height? Because back to what Devin said, I know that clip that she's talking about. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I was so confused. 6'3", that's something you can't control. So when did top tier become height? Honestly, just like they said, when did top tier become how much money you make? We're all adults. We should be making money at some point.
Yeah.
How does that equal that you're top tier? I'm so confused.
And it's you're not top tier because you're telling yourself to the world.
Yeah, when you have to explain to people.
You're hyping yourself up to the world. To me, you have some type of insecurity that you are trying to push off to the side and convince yourself in front of the whole world that you are this person and you're not. And it's okay. Like if you're not there, everybody is levels to it. If you're a beginner, you're a beginner. Just sit back and do what you got to do. But he lost me with the braids. Because that's the one thing. If you got braids or you got your mixtape in your bio, don't send me a friend request.
Okay, first of all, braids, we can't sleep on braids.
What happened to the braids?
Okay, because braids,
because they're cute when you're 6. Okay,
I'm so done.
No,
they're cute.
I'm not here for that. I'm not.
The
here for
braids be
braid
kind of cute though
slander.
sometimes, depending on how they
Thank
get
you.
it done.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
it
not
gotta
here.
look good. It can't be. You gotta have some hang time. It can't
Yeah,
garter braids, but
yeah, the braids are cute.
I just like
I am not here for the braid slander.
um
Okay.
She said the braids.
kids braids are cute.
Oh my gosh.
My friend
Adult braids are
said
cute
no.
too.
She
No.
said ain't no way around it. If you got braids, it's done.
No.
Don't look at me.
Don't
Don't
add
ask
her
me
on
questions.
social
Don't
media,
DM
please.
me. Cut
And
your hair off. Get some waves.
if your
You're
bio
making
say
you a
listen
mixtape
to
because
my
she don't want to see
mixtape,
it in the bio.
I
Mm-mm.
like
The mixtape.
no, I can't be your friend. No, like no. If I
It's so specific that I feel like it happened like 3
A
hours
lot.
ago. Like
I have like friend requests of people that have like mixtape in their bio, and I'm like, no, thank you, because at some point in your life, that should no longer be a goal.
Mm.
You should have a real job, because that's just not gonna work. Like, if I'm getting up every morning going to work, and you are going to the studio, it's no. And like, okay, I can understand if you go to the studio and you have a real 9 to 5 until something pops off. But you've been pushing this album since you were 16. No.
I just feel like there is an age of expiration on
It's an
trying
age
to
of just
start your
grow
rap
up.
career. Yeah.
Grow
yeah.
up.
Go, save the lyrics and give it to the young people. Go ahead, be a writer. You know, there's
Yep.
there's
Be a
jobs for that.
producer.
Okay, thank you. Be a producer. Help
Yeah.
make somebody at your album because you're
Yeah.
not popping. Okay,
With
if
the
you
braids,
haven't been
no.
popping thus far, it's not gonna happen. Okay, there is an age restriction, baby, and you've
On braids
surpassed it.
too.
Okay,
On braids too.
not on the
what's
braids.
the age?
Not
What's
on
the age
braids.
restriction for the people?
I don't know.
For
You
what?
just know when you know it.
Yeah, like if you have been if you have been sending labels your mixtape for 5 or more years, let it go. If your braids do not go from here and they just stuck right there, let it go. It's not for
your
you.
beard does not connect. Like you got to keep going, friend, because I know
Yeah.
Yeah, the beard
Yeah,
don't.
No,
keep
the
going with
beard
that one.
thing is not like
They
the
can't
beard
help
thing
that
is
the
not.
beard don't connect. That's
That's me.
not their
But you can
fault. That's
control
like
the
how
braid.
they can't help
They can
the
control
braids
that though, because they can just go get
either.
it cut.
But
They
Holding on
can't
to it
help
make no
their
sense.
dream. What if God said, like, you're the next Kendrick Lamar? Like, we wasn't there when God had that conversation with that man. Y'all know I'm being sarcastic.
well, he wasn't listening to God's plan. That's the problem.
Hello.
Because he would have been there by now.
Yeah, it's not. It's I just I'm telling you, as soon as I see that, I'll be like, no, a lot.
At the point of knocking on 40 and people still don't know who you are in the music industry, you have no connections. You don't, and your music's not good at one. Your mixtapes aren't popping. I just feel
prime
like
example.
Hang it up.
But look, prime example. Remember, was it Daddy's Little Girls, the Tyler Perry movie, and the guy was rapping with the throwback jersey?
Oh,
Julia and Never Make a Fool of Ya? No.
Yep. I sucked
That's
in my lips as soon as I thought it.
That comes to mind. No, sir.
Yeah. Hang it up.
Not gonna happen. Let it go. That's where the it stops there.
So what about the man that is 5'11", works in tech, he knows how to build computers, no kids, 39. What, because that's how they describe themselves.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it stops. Because you're like, okay, but what else? You could be abusive.
Right.
You could actually, like, not currently work in tech. Like, you could actually be looking for a job. So therefore, like, you might be looking for me to be a meal ticket. You could have, like, an extensive criminal record, right? And, like, I'm an advocate of people getting, like, justice, especially if you, like, wrongly were accused of something. But, like, I also have children and I am a human being. I want to be safe.
Yeah.
So I think about, like, the stuff that's being missed in a lot of these conversations is your emotional intelligence, your emotional maturity. Are you self-aware? Do you have compassion for the average person? Because if you'll talk to a stranger crazy, you waiting on your chance to talk to me crazy. And then I'm gonna have to come on the Milfin podcast to send an email and ask y'all to gather up some bail money. Like, you know what I'm saying? There are so many other things. Like, how do you handle conflict? Do you raise your voice? What are your like health habits? I'm not saying you gotta like be at the gym all day or nothing like that, but like, is that an alignment? Are we gonna, you know, can you cook? Do you eat fruits and vegetables? Do you know what those are? And I that sounds crazy, but there are a lot of people who do not.
Yeah,
like that are our age. They're like, what's a kiwi? And you're like, unfollow me and block me.
Yeah.
Like, what's the squash? You're eating a zucchini? Like, we're having zucchini boats? Okay, you know what? Done. You know, so there's like more to that. And I'm not saying that like to require more of another person. That's all stuff that I work on. How am I constantly being self-aware and not beating myself up about stuff, but like being aware enough to know like that was rude. I wasn't compassionate there. I got a habit of people pleasing. Like, that's the whole journey I'm on right now. So I'm not about to do all that work and then you come in and you ain't done nothing.
Hello. Say
like that don't make no sense. We can't even grow together because you are, you know, miles behind where I am on like my open road that's ahead of me. That's what like equally yoked means. It's that stuff, not that we both believe in God the same way or anything like that. Not that we're both attractive together. It's the stuff people can't see. That's why relationships don't work or they're falling apart. So I'm like, the surface level conversation really gets us nowhere. And I think that there's a lot of men who think that that's where it starts because there are women who for a long time, particularly on social media, only talked about that. He got to be tall and he got to have this skin color and he need to do this. And like on Twitter, that's all they was talking about 10, 15 years ago when I was on there heavily. And I'm like, that's it?
Tall, dark, and handsome. That's it.
That was it.
Yeah, I mean, the PPP loans got people out there losing their mind.
Oh my God.
Because this man at Somerset Mall cashed out on everything. No, like that's not all that there is to it. Like, you can buy me all this stuff, but guess what? That's not what I really care about. Like, are you putting in the time? Are you helping me? And then when you say like 39 with no kids, sometimes I'll be thinking they be lying. Because
friend, they be lying.
Because some people,
for sure,
yeah.
I'm not saying everybody is.
Yeah, but
some folks are definitely picking and choosing which children they're hiding. So they might tell you I got 2, but like maybe they have 5. Or they might say it's a lot of kids that call me dad. Like, that's the new thing. It's a lot of kids that call me dad, but I only got 2. And then you come to find out all those children call you dad because you are legitimately their father. Like, why did you lie about that?
And just don't lie. Like, if you lie,
hey, Shalana, take her.
It's not gonna work. Not gonna work.
I think the other thing about the top tier, kind of going back to the man Dom described, when we hear those type of men, you know, whether they're on podcasts or just, you know, friends on social media with us, I think the biggest thing as to why we are hearing a lot of men say, oh, I'm this, or that, and I'm 45 with no kids, is because honestly now it seems like they're so focused on the single mom and they're so focused on what they don't want that they can't get who they really want because they're focused on the single mom. Every time you hear these podcasts, it's, oh, I'm this or that, I'm 50 with no kids, and I'm not dating no single mom because I don't want no ready-made family, or I don't want no other man's responsibility. So if you don't want that, why focus on it? You can't even figure out who you are because you want to, like you said, surface level, but then you're so worried about a woman 9 times out of 10 that's not looking your way, but you're focused on a woman that you say you don't want. It's like it's non-ending. Whenever you find these top tier combos, the single mother finds a way there.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. It's crazy. That's not top tier. A top tier man isn't worried about something that he does not want or care about. You can't be top tier if you're worried about things that don't concern you, that you don't want.
I love that.
that. And who's to say that if you don't want the single mom, who's to say that she's even going to give you the time of day?
Hello.
Like, Why?
And why we don't hear about husbands in the top tier conversation?
Thank you.
Why y'all always
Right.
single? Why y'all always
Thank
talking
you.
about what y'all are and y'all not even in relationships? How is that top tier?
Well, the
Okay.
one guy, he was top tier with his girl.
His- her
Because she wasn't his wife, and
Okay.
she actually is a single mother, and he
Yeah.
talked real bad about single moms, and then he got with one, which is
Wow.
weird. But that's a good point. Like, where are I think the men in relationships don't have time for it. They like, this is BS. I'm not even about to address it. Like,
They're
because
top
why would I
tier.
spend my time talking down on somebody I don't want? I already have who I got, and we got enough to worry about.
And not even that. To me, the top tier men are the men who actually don't care about what a woman is bringing. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that he does not care about the kids, but a top tier man, if he's in love with that woman, take away her being a mom. He's in love with that woman. He gonna love everything that come with her. That's top tier.
Laws and all.
Yep.
Hello,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
top tier. Top tier isn't sitting back talking about essentially what your mama was. Let's just call a spade a spade. A lot of them came from single moms who never got married. A man never chose her, so they're mad about it. So because they're mad, and they get mad at her, and because they can't say that to their mom, they get on podcasts behind a mic and they say it to the millions of women who are going through that.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is. It's a top tier man will get in therapy. A top tier man will go sit and talk to the lady about what he felt about his mama not getting chose, instead of getting on a podcast trying to convince everyone that he's top tier because he won't date a woman with kids. Please. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
When you said
I think the top tier man would also be living life.
Okay.
Like, I think that's the part that's missed. Like, we're all on a podcast right now. We have our own platforms and things like that. And yet we started off even talking about how, like, we want to live life. And I think a lot of folks who get on these podcasts, it gives them the platform to talk, but they spend their time at home. You haven't gone anywhere. You haven't traveled. You talking about you don't want a woman at the club, but anytime you go out, you're only going to happy hour and a club. Like, you have not experienced anything. So all you're getting is confirmation bias. You keep going places that confirm your like weird thinking. And I'm like, you're not even living. So we definitely can't be compatible. Like, we can't be because like, I don't want to sit at home all day. I don't want to only consume one type of content. I need to put my feet on the ground and experience all of what God like created as much as I can touch. And I want my kids to have that too. And so the pattern I'm noticing is like some of these folks, they haven't done anything. Like when you start to ask them about traveling or what are their hobbies, they don't have them. They literally don't have them. They just spend their time complaining. And I'm like, if that was my child, if that was my son or my daughter who did not go anywhere and spent all their time complaining, I would say, you gotta get out the house. Okay. Like, baby, you gotta get out the house, and I'm gonna start it. Like, I'm gonna start taking you somewhere. We're gonna start with the things I know you used to enjoy, so that you can like get back in touch with reality, and then maybe that'll do something for you. But I really think a lot of these people like that they're not aware, like that COVID isolation stuck.
Ooh.
And so it allowed them to like project a reality that like isn't real. And they believe it so much that they're projecting it onto any woman that's not interested or the women that they don't actually like. Like, why would I spend all day talking about men I don't like?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not true. Yeah. It's like, even when Nico just said like they talk about what their mother was. I dated a guy in Lola, you know him, but he doesn't exist. But yeah, he told me that I had typical black girl attitude or something. And I'm like, first off, dude, we're in high school. Yeah. Secondly, your mom's black. Like, how do you hate what you came out of? That right there, like, just gets my gears like going, because how do you hate what you came out of? Who created you? If anything, you should be protecting black women at all costs, because that's what you come from. And you've seen how your mother struggled with you, or you've seen all this other stuff. So you should definitely be trying your best to protect it.
No, that's that emotional well-being I was talking about, because when we as moms, if we're not checking in on our children emotionally or whatever, we're not teaching them how to grow emotionally. We don't know what that Black mama was doing, whether she was making him the man of the house at a young age, whether she was, talking down, yelling early. Like, we don't know her emotional check-in. So we don't know what attitude or what learned behavior he was getting from his mother to project, I don't want that energy in my life. And if he sees that in the woman that's around him, which, at that time, we were, he was predominantly around Black kids, and he's seeing that projected or something that may remind him of that. He never got that emotional well-being from his mother. So I don't want to put all the blame on the mamas or whatever, and son, with their sons, but I just feel like me, because like I have 2 sons. If I'm wrong, I'm going to admit on that. I check in on my son. I ask him, like, you got in trouble. Do you understand why you got in trouble? Just giving that check-in so it's not projected as I'm always giving him attitude, animosity, or always coming down hard on him. So that the next Black woman in his life, if he decides to date somebody that's Black, if they're getting to argue or in confrontation, it's not reminding him of a mother-to-son relationship and, turning off the situation. So,
But they typically say that men go for someone that reminds them of their mom.
If they mama was a good mama, though, you got if your mama was a good mama, I would understand. And they say that about girls and their father. I never went for nobody after my daddy. Absolutely not. That man was
You do what?
my father. I would never go for anybody like him. That's it.
But I also think too, kind of with what y'all said, that when he was saying, "Oh, to you, you just have like a typical Black girl's attitude," and even with what Lola said, here's the thing: it's still not our job, it's still not our job to. And I get where you was going, where you check in with your child, and you do that. But if your son decides he still want to hold on to whatever he felt for you in that moment, and when he gets older, he wants to put that on a woman, that's not on us. Yeah. That's on him to let that go and to go talk to the lady if he needs to and get himself right. Because I have a son. So I do the same thing with mine. He's 4. He doesn't understand. But if he comes and he says, "Mommy, you mean?" Because I just told him something to do. Well, why are you mad? Because I told you something to do. Let's check in. But if he is 40 and he's married and he look at his wife and say, "Oh, my mom used to tell me what to do and you telling me what to do and I don't fit," that's on him.
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with me. So bringing it back, I do think that a lot of, and it can just kind of go into what we talked about. Even when you said, like, we don't know how the mom was, this is true. But also, we know some mamas, our elders or whatever, they never let their kids see them struggle. They never let them kids see the time that they was crying, whether she was single, married, or whatever, and especially a single mom. Sometimes them kids did not see that. Sometimes the kids did not know that mama really not feeling you today, but she's showing up. And so sometimes in her showing up, she might go off. She don't even know why she's going off. And it affects you. But as adults, even women, when we have gotten into it with our mothers or our fathers or whoever, we're responsible for letting that go. We're responsible for not bleeding onto our kids, on our friends, on, our family members. We're responsible. I'm not saying that, I'm not taking blame from how you were raised or things that people have done. But at a certain point, those people keep going. It's not that they forgot what they did to you. They just don't care. Yeah. So you're stuck with that. And so it's up to us to, let it go. And so bringing it back to the man, it's up to that man to let that go and to kind of unlearn what was given to him or what was taught to him, and to kind of treat women better. Like, treat a woman how you wanted your mom to be treated. You know what I'm saying? Or just treat a woman with empathy in general. Even if your mama had the best relationship, best marriage, whatever, however you saw that, I think men should be more empathetic. Regardless.
And open to therapy. Everybody should be. Like, just be open to therapy. Like, it's okay to have someone to talk to get through certain situations or to heal certain things, because they're going to come up again. Like, yeah, when you were little, this happened to you and you grew up and you don't even worry about it. There's going to be a day and a time where it comes back and God is testing you to see what's going on and if you're going to be triggered in the same way. You going to keep taking those failed tests over and over until you pass it and figure it out. So you can't be scared of like going to talk to somebody. I talk to somebody every 2 weeks and I be super excited. So like, do it. Everybody should do it, especially Black men.
Yes.
And I think it also starts with like seeing that women are humans. Like, I think to y'all's point, like when you saw your mom growing up and she wasn't showing you her full humanity, like we didn't get to see her emotions, her breakdowns, and sometimes we didn't get to see mom's highs. Like I don't know that I got to see like when my mom was super successful all the time. Like I don't know how much I was in a space to see it, right? So you start to see women as machines. I have absolutely been treated like I'm a machine, and then I'm told I'm too sensitive, as if me being sensitive and having feelings and being emotionally intelligent and emotionally mature and communicating is a problem, right? Like, how is that? I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm saying you want me to be less human, so I have to be what you require of me. So at home, I got to be what you require of me. And at work, I got to be what they require of me. And then with my kids, I got to be what they require of me. And then in general, in life, I got to operate a certain way as a Black woman with locks, with tattoos, right? However, like to be safe. And so you're asking me to be a machine everywhere. Well, machines break, machines malfunction, machines like need upkeep. How about just seeing me as a human? Because the men want us to see them as human. They want a safe space where they can like be emotionally safe and all of that. And so, but I don't get to get that. Like, where is that? And I'm speaking very generally. I'm not saying I don't get that, but I'm like thinking through all the relationships I've had where I'm like, I was absolutely top tier and I got bare minimum and was told you'll never find better than me. And multiple times. And I was like, you don't even do anything, sir. Like, you literally don't do anything. I think I could find somebody 1% better than you pretty easily off the street. Like, you not what you think you are. But also, the reason I have to leave you is because you don't see me as a human. Like, you literally think like the best, like I deserve your bare minimum when I'm giving you 150%. And that's what I see a lot. It's like women, we're not, again, I'm speaking generally because I know there are a lot of people who have excellent partners, but generally, like, we are supposed to be a machine. I'm supposed to do and be everything. I'm supposed to be a virgin, but also experienced enough to please you. I'm supposed to be like beautiful every day, but I can't wear makeup and I can't wear a weave. I'm supposed to have the perfect body, but if I work out too much, I'm not spending enough time with you. I'm supposed to have a life, but like you don't want me texting my friends all the time. I'm supposed to have interests, but it can't be gaming and it can't be sports because that's a man's thing. I'm supposed to know how to be like an elite chef, but you don't know how to cook anything. I'm supposed to cook all day, right? I'm supposed to be all of these things. Yeah. And do I get to just be dumb? Like, I'm silly as hell, and I want to spend time on podcasts at 9:15 on a random Monday shooting the shit. I want to travel with my best friends. And sometimes I don't want anybody around me. I literally don't want anybody looking at me. I don't want you touching me. I want to spend time in the bed, at a spa, on the beach, on the patio, sipping some water or an old fashioned. And I want you to leave me alone because that's just what I want. And I don't love you any less, right? Like, I don't care about you any less. Like, we are not allowed to be all of those things because when we are, it's seen as negative. When men are asking for the exact same thing, you want the exact same thing that I am like being, except when it's you, it's valuable. When it's me, it's a detriment. And that's crazy. Like, if we just talked about that, I think we could literally change, like, we could literally change a whole generation of relationships if we talked about those things right there, because a lot comes with it, and then stop raising our daughters to be machines. I don't want my daughter to be a machine.
That part.
I don't want my son to be a machine.
Right.
Like, neither one of them. I want them to be full human beings. Like, as dope as they are right now, I want them to continue to grow and be dope human beings. I don't want anybody putting them in a box and saying this is what they're limited to being because they're a boy or a girl or they're a man or a woman. That's crazy.
Yes. It's like when you said they want you to be their peace. Ace Metaphor said this, and when I tell you this part right here, it resonates with me so much. When he said, you want her to be your peace, but you're putting her through hell. I was like, exactly. Like, women, I'm just going to speak for Black women because I don't know what others go through. But as a Black woman, I do feel like it's 10 times, or just minority women, it's 10 times harder. Because like my mom used to say this to my little brother when he was younger. You're born into this world with 2 strikes. You're Black and you're a man. So you got to work 10 times harder to prove yourself. And even as a Black woman, you have to work 10 times harder, or just a minority woman. You have to work 10 times harder to do any and everything. The world doesn't give you no type of grace. Yeah. The world doesn't be like, oh, okay, well, she's tired today. She doesn't have to cook dinner. No. Why are you not cooking dinner for your family? Why are you not doing this? Why we got to eat out? Who cares? Shut up and eat it. Like, that's it. So I think that if people in general could just give a little bit of grace, and like you said, we're not machines. We can't pour from an empty cup. Yeah. There's no way I can give you what you need if I don't take the time myself. Because I'm one that will go off by myself. And I'll be like, nothing's wrong with me. I'm okay. I just don't feel like being bothered right now. Don't touch me, please. Because guess what? I got 4 little hands that are constantly wanting to touch or eat my food. I eat my late snack when everybody sleep. Because sometimes you just need something to yourself. So, yes. Well, okay, so Nikwa has to put her baby to bed. It's his bedtime.
It is bedtime. But it was a good show, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Just really quick before we say goodbye, I know Tan was talking about, the vision board episode. A lot of what you were saying, Tan, and what Don was saying about being the person that, that you want to be now, and being the person and having that life. I feel like we should bring that to life in our vision boards for that episode when we get there. So we'll have more information on that when, coming towards the show. But I mean, even inviting Don back for that conversation and bring her vision board or bring it to, I feel like that would be a good one.
Yes, the Milton Vision Board, virtual vision board party. Yes. Will be December 30th on that episode.
I would love to come back. Just give me some prep. Tell me what I need to do. Yeah. I would love to. And I love y'all's podcast. I'm glad to be a guest. I love the vibe. I love how casual and like natural and real it is. So thank y'all for inviting me. I'm always still be in the comments whether I'm a guest or not.
Appreciate
thank you
that.
For coming down.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah. So before we go, Shalana said, "Man, let me put it up there because we can do that."
Thanksgiving. I'm not doing all the people pleasing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this past Thanksgiving we was all on the same tip. This is why it was a potluck, okay? Because I wasn't doing all that this time around.
People ask me what did I bring. I said Tupperware.
Okay.
Tupperware, and I brought the tea.
I made a meal.
I didn't make anything. My granny told me not to. I brought Tupperware, and I did purchase the tea for my grandma to make. So that was my contribution.
Okay, that's good.
There's a lot of content that was popping up like the 2 days before and the day before Thanksgiving about it started with men. There was a man who's married, or there was a woman who was telling the story of her dad and how their holiday shifted. Her dad would have these days off work. His wife would also have the day off work, but she would spend it working while he was chilling. And he was like, I just want my wife sitting next to me, like, while we watching games and whatever. Like, so he said he asked her, like, do you want to be doing all this holiday stuff, like cooking all the food, doing the decorations, whatever? They said she started crying. And she was like, no. And he was like, that's it. We ordering takeout, like, stop. I want to spend time with my wife. And that signal, like all these other women being like, no one's ever asked me if I wanted to. It was expected that I am supposed to do that. Even if you don't have kids, like the aunties and they're expected to be the ones to pull that together. Ain't nobody asked, like, do I even really want to celebrate this holiday as it is? Do I want to cook? Like, do I even want to be here? Do I have something else I want to do? It's an expectation on women. Men get breaks. It's always let that man watch football with his friends, right? But like, what if I want to watch football with my friends?
Yeah,
because I know more about football than most men. But that's another topic for another day. Like, what if, you know what I'm saying? What if I want to put my feet up and just chill? What if I just want to order a pizza today? What if we eat leftovers of something random? We just have some chili on Thanksgiving, right? So it was a good conversation to see, because I'm like, that's the beginning of something. You know, just ask. Like, maybe that lady don't want to do that today, and if you don't.
Did y'all see the one where the girl said, "We are the aunties"?
Yes,
and it's about the time. Like, we are the ones that are going to be starting to host Thanksgiving and the different holidays and stuff like that. When I saw that, the amount of anxiety that I got, because I don't think I'm old enough. Girl, like, I don't think I'm old enough at this point.
They wasn't either. Like,
like
when I look back on it, they was like in they late 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Oh my gosh,
my grandma was in her
immediately
40s.
stressed. Immediately stressed after I saw that post. But
I've already been hosting, so I already know where we at. So,
and I host Christmas, but
yeah,
I do millennial stuff. We had a taco bar one year, because you just had that food on Thanksgiving, so we switch it up.
That is true.
Taco bar. I don't know what I'm gonna do this year.
I love a good brunch, even if it's like a nighttime brunch. Like, I love a good like brunch theme for like a holiday.
We did that on Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
because it's just like so much. It's a completely different set of food. It's a completely different vibe, and it can be different every time.
In the pajamas and breakfast for dinner. We be out here on that Brenner time. I love it.
I love that.
Not the Brenner.
Yes, the Brenner is everything around these parts.
All right, we got a good long show today.
Yes, thank y'all for tuning
in. Oh, you can close it, Lola. Go, girl.
Oh, okay, my bad. Let me close it tonight. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Just kidding.
Not this mic. I love this mic. Stresses me out.
I want to thank Nico and Dom for stopping by the show. I would love to have y'all back again. I appreciate y'all. Dang, I wish Nico was on so she could throw in her IG in the comments. But Dom, throw yours in there. Oh, it's already under.
I'll put hers down there too.
Oh, yep, put it in there for me, please. Follow them on Instagram. If you haven't already been following Milford on Instagram, follow us, and we'll keep you with updates on the show and the upcoming shows. We love y'all. Good night.